Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we jump in, a quick heads up. This story is dark. We're talking brutal acts, child abuse, and some seriously twisted family secrets. If you've got a weak heart or this kind of thing gets under your skin, you might want to skip this one. No judgment here. For those sticking around, get ready. This is the shadows of Malino, what they hid until the end. Let's dive in. September 2021. Malino, a sleepy little village tucked away in the Tingamongking district of Gowa Regency, South Sulawesi, Indonesia. It's the kind of place where the air's crisp, the trees sway gently, and life feels simple, until it doesn't. In this quiet corner of the world, something unthinkable was brewing behind closed doors. A family, a mom, a dad, a grandfather, an uncle, living in a modest house, surrounded by neighbors who thought they knew them. But they didn't. Not really. Because inside that home, shadows were growing. Shadows that'd swallow two innocent kids whole. It starts with DS. He's 22, full of life. Or at least he should have been. It's late August, just days before everything unravels. DS is at home, surrounded by his family. His mom's there, her face blank, stirring something in a pot. His dad's pacing, muttering under his breath. The air's thick, tense, like something's about to snap. Then it does. They hand him a jug, big, heavy, sloshing with liquid. Drink, they say. He hesitates. You can see it in his eyes, he's scared. But they don't back off. They push it to his lips, tilt it up. It's salt water, 2 whole liters of it. Half a gallon of salty, choking liquid forced down his throat. His body fights it, gagging, coughing, his hands clawing at the air, but they hold him steady. His mom's grip is iron on his arm, his dad's voice sharp, barking orders. Minutes pass, agonizingly slow. Then he starts to shake. Blood trickles from his nose, his ears, his mouth. He collapses, limp, right there on the floor. They don't scream. They don't cry. They just watch. A day later, on September 1st, they bury him. The village mourns a tragic loss, they think. A young life cut short. No one asks questions. Not yet. But the house isn't done whispering its secrets. The very next day, September 2nd, the focus shifts to AP. She's 6 years old, tiny, with big eyes and a quiet giggle. It's the afternoon. The sun's still hanging high over Malino. The family's gathered again, fresh off DS's funeral. You'd think they'd be grieving, right? Holding each other, remembering him. But no. They're in a back room, the curtains drawn tight. AP's there, sitting on the floor, maybe playing with a toy or just staring at the wall. She doesn't see it coming. Her mom kneels in front of her, hands trembling but deliberate. Her dad's behind her, breathing heavy. The grandfather's in the corner, his face hard as stone, and an uncle's hovering nearby, shifting his weight like he's nervous, but won't leave. Then her mom moves fast. Fingers dig into AP's face, right at her eye. AP screams, a sound that'd haunt anyone, but they don't stop. Blood spills down her cheek, staining her little shirt. She's thrashing, tiny fists swinging, but she's no match. They're trying to gouge it out, her right eye, her sight, ripping at her like she's not even human. The room's a chaos of shouts and sobs, but they're not letting go. Then Bayu walks in. Bayu's her uncle too, but he's different. He'd been at the funeral, paying respects, when he decided to check on the family. He hears the screams before he even reaches the door. He bursts in, sees AP pinned down, blood everywhere, her mom's hands still clawing at her face. He doesn't think, he just acts. Stop, he yells, lunging forward. He shoves them off, scoops AP into his arms. She's shaking, whimpering, clinging to him as blood drips onto his shirt. The family freezes, staring at him like he's the one who's crazy. Bayu doesn't wait for answers. He bolts out of there, cradling AP, and flags down a local officer on the street. Within hours, she's at Sheikh Yusuf General Hospital, doctors swarming around her. Her eyes a mess, torn, swollen, barely hanging on. The family? They're hauled off in cuffs, mom, dad, grandfather, the other uncle. All of them, stone-faced, not saying a word. The village is buzzing now. Whispers spread like wildfire. What happened to AP? Why'd they do it? And DS, people start wondering about him too. Was it really an accident? The police dig in, questioning everyone. Bayuza Rek, pacing outside the hospital, telling the cops what he saw. AP's in surgery, fighting to keep her sight, while the family sits in a cold interrogation room. At first, they're tight-lipped. The mom just stares at the wall, her hands stained with her daughter's blood. The dad mutters something about fate. The grandfather crosses his arms, defiant. The uncle's sweating, eyes darting around like he wants to run. Hours pass. The cops push harder. And then, finally, the dam breaks. It wasn't random. It wasn't madness. At least, not entirely. They confess, and it's worse than anyone imagined. DS's death? No accident. They killed him. That salt water wasn't some weird punishment or a desperate cure. It was deliberate. They forced it down his throat, 2 liters as part of a ritual. A sacrifice. They believed in Pesugihan, black magic, an old tradition some chase for wealth or power. You give something precious, something alive, and the spirits supposedly pay you back. DS was their offering. They watched him choke, bleed out, die right in front of them. All because they thought it'd make them rich. And when it didn't work fast enough, they turned to AP. Her eye, that was next. Gouge it out, offer it up, finish what they started. They'd been at this for weeks, maybe months, late-night chants, strange symbols scratched into the walls, voices in their heads telling them to keep going. The mom says she heard whispers, magical ones, guiding her hands. The dad nods, like it's normal. The grandfather claims it's tradition. The uncle just hangs his head. The cops are floored. The village is horrified. AP's still in the hospital, bandaged up, doctors saying her eye might heal, at least a little, after surgery. Bayu's by her side, stepping up to take care of her now. Telcom Regional 7, where he works, even pitches in some money to help them start over. But the family? They're done. The mom and dad get shipped off to Dadi Hospital in Makassar for mental evaluations. Cops think they might have lost it, driven mad by guilt or those whispers. The grandfather and uncle are locked up, facing trial. It's all classified as domestic violence against minors, but it's so much more, a betrayal so deep it's hard to fathom. So here we are at the end of the shadows of Malino, what they hid until the end. DS is gone, sacrificed for nothing. AP's alive, but scarred forever. And a family that should have protected them? They're the monsters in this story. What do you think? Could anyone have seen this coming? Should they rot in jail, or is there something broken in them that punishment can't fix? Drop your thoughts below. I read every comment, and I want to hear from you. If this gripped you, hit that like button. It helps spread these stories. Subscribe if you're new. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Share this with someone who needs to know. Until next time, stay safe and hold your loved ones close. See you soon.